What is going on, guys? Welcome to GregglesTV Daily Rewind episode 4. This is the show where I go through my last week of tech news. I do a tech news show every single day, and this is a big one video where all of those last week's videos are in it. So this is for the week of June 25th through July 1st. So in case you missed any of those videos or all of those videos, you can watch this video to see all of them without having to go figure out what's going on. And this week was amazing. Galaxy Note 9 news up the wazoo. We found out the launch date. We found out specs. We found out charging speeds. We found out news on the Galaxy S10. All kinds of great news this week. So if you're into that kind of stuff, watch this show, guys. Enjoy. How is everyone doing? Let's get into the news. If you have the unlocked Galaxy S9, S9 Plus, like myself, they finally pushed out the June security update and bug fixes, whatever bug fixes are in there. So if you have the unlocked version of the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus, not the carrier version, because it looks like all the carrier people already have this update, go in, check for the update. I went in, checked for it, I got it, restarted my phone, and now I have it. So again, just a friendly reminder to do that. Next up, the Galaxy Note 9 has passed through the FCC to check all the radios and all that stuff inside of the phone. So the phone will have Samsung Pay, Bluetooth, NFC, all that stuff that you would be expecting, along with all the bands that you would need for the carriers here in America. It's not going to have all the international bands so that you can use it everywhere in, every single band in the world, but all the American bands, USA bands, it has those, so that's great news. And if it's passing through the FCC, it means everything's going as planned, meaning you're probably looking still at that August 9th launch of the Galaxy Note 9 in New York City. And then you're probably looking at, about 2 weeks later for that phone to be in your hand, so probably like August 23rd or so. And so it's exciting. Should have a bigger battery, probably some faster charging, hopefully a better camera, and we're only weeks away from this phone. And the last story of the day is a rumor about the Galaxy S10, that there will be 3 versions of the Galaxy S10, all with 3 cameras on the back of the phone. Now let's talk about the different versions. There's going to be 2 versions that are 5.8 inches and then another version with 6.2 inches. One of the 5.8 inch versions will have a flat display and will be the least expensive of all of these phones. The next will be a 5.8 inch with a curved display, so kind of like what you got with today's phone. And then the 6.2 version, again, the curved display. You're looking at the premium versions of this phone having the fingerprint sensor underneath that display, along with a bezel-less design on the front and also face unlock, or 3D face unlock at that. So if you're looking to save some money but you want to get in the Galaxy game, you should be able to get a flat version of this phone. I kind of want a flat version in a way. I miss having all that screen real estate, a bigger phone. It just feels bigger in your hand. Like even when you play with an iPhone, 8 Plus or something with that 5.5 inch display, it still feels like a really big display just because it's flat. And it kind of looks antique at this point because all the phones are slim and tall and look really modern, but it's still nice to have that huge display on a phone. How is everyone doing? Let's get into the news. The first story of the day is about a forged photo going around about the Galaxy S10, when in reality, all it is an edited Galaxy S9 Plus. Let's take a look. Looking at these 2 photos side by side, you can see the original Galaxy S9 Plus, and then on the left you see the Galaxy S9, and this Galaxy S9 has no sensors at all, basically anywhere on the phone, on the screen, and that is obviously not true. It's going to have some kind of sensors like a camera and a speaker of some sort, at least for you to hear. So take this as not real, and if you've seen this, again, it is a fraud. Next up, when we're talking about the Galaxy S10 coming out early next year, we talked about it having 3 variants of the phone. 2 5.8 inches, one will be flat, one will be curved, and then a 6.2 inch premium version, which will have everything that you could want on the phone. 3 cameras on the back, curved display, and then also just a better overall phone, fingerprint sensor underneath the display. We have a little bit more information on the other 2 variants. So the flat version, which would be the least expensive, which is also called Beyond Zero, will only have 1 camera on the back. The Beyond 2, or Beyond 1 I should say, will have, which is like the middle of the range one, which is the 5.8 with a curved display. That one's going to have 2 cameras on the back, and then like I said, The Beyond 2 version, which is the 6.2 version, will have 3 cameras on the back. So I'm definitely going for balls to the wall, best version on there. I'm gonna get the Galaxy S10 Plus without a doubt. And our last 2 stories of the day are about the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. So if you have the unlocked version like myself, you can now that we just got that update that we spoke about yesterday, you can now listen to FM radio on your device. Just download the Next Radio app, turn it into FM settings only, plug in your headphones, and you can listen to FM radio for free. The app's for free, and then obviously FM radio is for free as well. I guess it's great if you're, maybe there's a station that you listen to that's not online, or maybe you're in an area that there's awful or none internet, and you can still listen to your favorite radio stations that way just by plugging in, turning on that app, plugging in those headphones, and you're ready to rock and roll. And the last story of the day is also, like I said, about the Galaxy S9, S9 Plus. There was an update pushed out in Germany, and it should come out to the rest of the world as well. And besides you getting security updates with that update, you're also going to be getting the Hey Google function built into your phone. So that's kind of exciting. It should have already been there, at least I thought it was there, but Hey Google will be built into that software update, and that's what I use. I don't use OK Google, and Hey Google is where it's at. How was everyone doing? I wanted to get this story out pronto. It is now official. Samsung Unpacked 2018 is August 9th. We've been hearing rumors that it was going to be August 9th. It is now official from Samsung. They also put out a little teaser video. I'll play it right now. In this teaser video, you can see a yellow button on the S Pen. It also looks like possibly some kind of Bluetooth switch button on here. Maybe that's the big surprise for this. Also, you'll be able to watch this live on Samsung.com on August 9th. It doesn't say exactly where it is. I'm assuming it's going to be New York. It was New York last year. I'm assuming it's going to be New York again this year. It just didn't say. I looked at the press release. I didn't see anything. I also checked some of the news sites like SamsungCentral.com. I didn't see them putting anything specific like that. But regardless, it is now official. August 9th, Galaxy Note 9. Definitely colored S Pen of some sort, multicolored S Pen with like a yellow button on there, possibly a Bluetooth switch on there as well. I don't know what you would possibly do with that in terms of maybe turning on and off Bluetooth, or maybe doing something else cool with that S Pen. But it's exciting. It's official, guys. Get your wallets ready. I'll link the stories down below if you want to check those out. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. I will be back later today with more news, more tech news, but I wanted to get this out pronto. How is everyone doing? Let's get into the news. The first story of the day is about the Nvidia Shield Experience 7.0, also known as Android 8.0, is now available for everyone, or at least should be rolling out to you right now. It's on all of my boxes right now. This one, the one down there, the one downstairs as well. So if you have an Nvidia Shield, turn it on. You should see that you have an upgrade. Otherwise, just go into settings, about, I believe it's system upgrade, and check for an upgrade there, and you should have it. Download it and then hit install and reboot, and you'll have the new interface. You can like it, you can love it, but it's there if you want it right now. Next up is about the Google Pixel 3 and Google Pixel 3 XL. OnLeaks, who is a leaker in the community, he's also on Twitter, put out a tweet today with a rendered look of what both of those phones will look like. They'll both have stereo speakers. Both phones have a redesigned look at that. Only one has a notch, and that is the Pixel 3 XL. So let's first talk about the Pixel 3, the regular version. It's going to have a 5.4-inch screen with no notch at the top, and then on the back you'll have one camera. Also have the flash to the right of that, and then the fingerprint sensor, and then on the front of the phone you can see there's a bezel at the top and at the bottom. The top left looks like there's one camera. I believe the other is a sensor for screen unlock. You have the speaker to listen to phone calls, and you have, it looks like, another sensor. And then at the bottom you have the other speaker along, again, with that bezel, 5.4 inches. On the Pixel 3 XL, you have on the back, you have the single camera, the flash, fingerprint sensor, and then the G logo at the very bottom. On the front of the display, you have that you have no bezel at the top, but you do have that notch hanging down, which is smaller than the iPhone's notch. And you have the two cameras, or one's a camera, one's a sensor. And then you have the speaker and then at the bottom you have the other speaker, and this phone will be 6.2 inches. Both of these phones will be running Android P, which will be the newest version of Android once that's fully released. It's in beta right now. Also, it should have a Snapdragon 845. As for RAM amounts, I'm guessing it's gonna have 4 gigabytes of RAM on both models. If they do put 6 gigabytes of RAM in one of the models, I would assume it's probably gonna be the XL version. Other than that, you're pretty much looking at, just a great phone, most likely, that'll take great photos, and probably more or less of what you got last year, just a little bit of a refinement, especially with the way it looks, and probably face unlock and some things like that, but nothing hugely monumental, changing back and forth between the phones. So if you don't really care about some of that stuff, you could probably be better off or just picking up a cheaper Pixel 2 or Pixel 2 XL at that point. But otherwise, Pixel 3, 3 XL should be a great phone, and it should be out in October of this year. And the last story of the day is about the Galaxy S10 Plus and the screen size increase that they're doing because of the new iPhone that will be out. First of all, the Galaxy S10 Plus was supposed to be 6.3 inches. The latest rumor coming out is that this phone will have a 6.44 inch display, which is actually larger than what the Galaxy Note 9 will be. Note 9, I believe, is going to be 6.38 inches or 6.4 inches at that. So it's going to be a bigger display than the Galaxy Note 9, but it will still be slightly smaller than the iPhone X 2018 version. That version, or whatever they call it, the larger version of that phone, will be 6.46. So you're looking at 6.46 versus 6.44 inches. And, it's not going to be a huge difference between the two phones because 0.02 inches is really nothing at that point. But it looks like Samsung's looking to compete with Apple as the biggest major phone on the market that you can buy everywhere. And bigger is better. I always say it. Why not? A bigger display, you're going to be able to see more things, be able to put more things on your screen. I'm all for it. And plus, the phones are long and tall now. And plus, bring down the notifications. You can swipe down in the middle as long as you use that Samsung launcher. So there's all kinds of tricks that you can still use one hand with the phone. I don't be too concerned with the phone being too tall. It won't be ultra comfortable with that one hand, but it's still nice to see that they're giving us more for probably the same amount of money they're going to charge us before. And I'll also throw this in case you didn't see my video from earlier. Samsung Galaxy Note 9 Unpacked is official. It is going to be August 9th. If you want to see the video in its entirety that I talk about that, I'll link it down below. Check that video out. What is going on, guys? Welcome to GregglesTV Daily, your source for daily tech news. Make sure you subscribe so you know what's going on in the world of tech. How is everyone doing? Let's get into the news. We have potentially a very huge, big Galaxy Note 9 leak of specs and a somewhat review of this phone. That's right, a review. Someone's had some hands-on time. He is a mobile industry veteran. He gives out information on phones usually before they've come out. I've never heard of him. Sam Mobile vouches for him, and his name's Eldar Murtazin. I probably butchered his name. If I did, I'm very sorry. But he has a lot of information on this phone, and I have like a whole page of notes, so let's get to it. 4,000 milliamp battery is what we've been hearing and what's been talked about, and that seems like it is true. 4,000 milliamp battery. He says it feels heavier than the Note 8. The Note 9 is heavier than the Note 8, and he's saying most likely because of that battery. Also, something cool about the battery is you can watch 25 hours of video at its highest brightness on the display, and that's when the phone would eventually die. So he said the battery life's considerably better. 2 days worth of battery, I doubt that. I'll probably get a full day. I'll be happy with a full day. I doubt I'll get 2 days, but just keep in mind, he's saying you can get 2 days on there. As for RAM and storage amounts, he's saying that the base version, and this could be wrong obviously, but the base version is going to be 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. And then they'll also have variants of 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage, and 8 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes of storage. That would be amazing. I would love to get 8 gigabytes of RAM on a Samsung phone. If that is the case and that comes out here in America, I will definitely get the 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage. I'm thinking in America that we'll probably only get 6 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage. I think the 8 256 and the 8 512 is going to be probably the Asian countries if I had to guess. Same display as the Note 8, but has better brightness on the Note 9, so you're getting a brighter display with that Note 9 when you want it to be. Camera has been improved, because not so much the lenses, but it's because of algorithms, which is basically AI stuff, and that's what Google does to get such good photos. They just use AI stuff. And then they also said optical image stabilization is improved, and also there are updated emojis on there. Their version of emojis that you can use with their cameras. So if you're into that, looks like they've updated that. The S Pen is improved with new software features that appeal to business users. So if you're a business user of this phone, I guess there's some new features that you're really going to enjoy. And also there is Bluetooth built into the S Pen. That he's confirming that rumor that we've been hearing about that. So it looks like you'll have Bluetooth built into that S Pen. He said also, this is a very interesting fact, the Note 8 will stop being sold when the Note 9 comes out due to cannibalization. So that way the Note 9 sales don't get cannibalized by a cheaper, almost equal Note 8, and I think that's smart. They'll still be able to sell Note phones, you'll still be able to buy a Note phone, you just have to spend a little bit more and get the newest version. I think that's smart by Samsung. Other than that, you're looking at what we've been hearing before, 6.3-inch display, 2960 by 1440 resolution. The processor will be an Exynos 9810 or a Snapdragon 845, depending upon where you live. And they'll have Bixby 2.0, and it'll run Android 8.1, which is not the newest version of Android. Android P will be out probably around the time that phone comes, actually a little bit after that phone comes out, so you won't be able to get Android P on your device probably until, for America, it'll be forever. It'll probably be into January, I'd have to guess, or somewhere after that. So yeah, that's what you're looking at for the Galaxy Note 9. Some stuff's interesting, like I'm interested in that camera being improved. I think there definitely is room for improvement with the camera, especially with photos. I would love to get 8 gigabytes of RAM inside of this phone. I'm interested to try out the new S Pen features. The battery life, I'd love to see way improved battery life. Yeah, I think it's turning out to be an evolutionary phone, but still kind of interesting. What is going on, guys? Welcome to GregglesTV Daily, your source for daily tech news. Make sure you subscribe so you know what's going on in the world of tech. How is everyone doing? Let's get into the news. The first story of the day is about ATT Watch TV. It's their $15 per month TV live streaming plan. You can sign up for it right now. Now, you don't even need to have AT&T to get this. You get about 30 plus channels. No sports, but basically, TV shows, news, movies, mixture of all that, and then on-demand stuff as well. All for $15 a month, or if you have one of their new unlimited data plans, you can actually get it for free if you're on AT&T. But otherwise, if you're on T-Mobile, Sprint, or Verizon, you can download it right now and sign up for it right now. There's apps in the Google Play Store and the iOS Store. So if you're interested in getting live TV for really, it's the cheapest live TV streaming service right now at $15 per month. You can sign up right now. Next up, if you have a Samsung DeX, they are adding dual monitor support when the Galaxy Tab S4 launches. Now, if you have this, I don't know if a lot of you have the DeX, and I personally don't, but you're going to be able to hook your regular computer monitor up to it, and also a tablet or a phone as the monitor. That way you can see 2 devices on there at once. I think that's pretty cool, and really it's not, you don't have to pay anything extra or do anything extra. It's just when the Galaxy Tab S4 launches, you'll be able to get this, and should be launching in the next couple of months. And our last story of the day is that Google is possibly releasing a gaming home console. That's right, to compete with PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Looks like Google is possibly releasing this. There's been tons of rumors going around. Kotaku just put out an article today about this, and it could be 3-layered, meaning it could possibly stream all the games from a centralized server so that you can play the game maybe in up to 4K and not have this huge, bulky, expensive gaming piece of hardware connected to your TV. It would literally be playing, games in a Chrome browser or connected to a streaming TV box, something really inexpensive. Also, you could look at playing these games locally on your device itself by downloading it. They might still release a beefy gaming hardware piece, but ultimately I think it's going to be more of a streaming service, and if it does, it looks like it's going to compete with PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I think that's very interesting. I think it's something that this is the future of gaming. It's already out right now. OnLive did this years ago, and then the Nvidia Shield can do it now with games up to 1080p, 60 frames per second, like you can play The Witcher 3, 1080p, 60 frames per second on your TV at home, and it looks great. So this is definitely the future of gaming. People would play these games maybe on their phones or on their low-powered computers or on a streaming TV box, and it would, like I said, it would stream a video game that you're playing maybe up to 4K in resolution, so it's pretty amazing. Let's get into the news. The first story of the day is about Samsung's foldable phone. Looks like Samsung is going to start preparing their foldable screens, and they should have 100,000 made by the end of 2018, and then launch their foldable Galaxy X phone by 2019, the beginning of 2019. That would mean January, February, possibly March, when they would launch the Galaxy X phone, which would be their foldable phone. An interesting thing that's coming out, at least a rumor about that Galaxy X phone, is that it would fold twice. So basically the first time it would fold would be about 2/3 folded, and it would show a piece of the screen, possibly showing notifications or some other bits of information, and then you'd be able to fold it one more time to completely fold that phone in half, meaning that the phone would go from 7 inches when it's completely wide open to 3.5 inches when it's fully closed. And the phone is seemingly very interesting. I'm very interested to see what Samsung will do with this phone to actually make it different than any other phone that's foldable in the market right now, or that will come out. Are people going to want this phone? It looks like they're going to enter full production mode once the beginning of 2019 hits. And will people buy that phone? That's the big thing. Is it going to be a trend of new things? I actually think it will become a trend of some sort with phones, especially if Samsung does it. I can see other manufacturers doing it, especially if they're able to buy those foldable OLED displays directly from Samsung and use it on their own phones. I think it will be one of the next big trends, especially when you look at notches. Is basically this year. Last year it was dual cameras. There's always something that comes out with cell phones because the market's becoming saturated with basically almost don't need a new phone every year. If you look at computers, most people don't buy computers for years, and that's already a mature market. Phones are basically mature at this point. So a new thing like a foldable display that turns in from a small tablet into like a somewhat small phone, that's an interesting product, and it could set a fire with the industry. We'll wait and see. And the last story of the day is about the Galaxy Note 9. It just passed through Chinese certification in China, and it looks like this phone, at least charging wise with a cable, will charge the same speed as the Galaxy S9, S9 Plus, which is Quick Charge 2.0. Other interesting thing about this is, remember, the battery is supposed to be bigger in the Galaxy Note 9. It's supposed to be 4,000 milliamps, and in the Galaxy Note 8 it was 3,300 milliamps. If you do the math, it's looking like it's probably going to take a little bit longer to charge that Galaxy Note 9. So for instance, from 0 to 100%, if it took the Galaxy Note 8 an hour 40 minutes, it's probably going to take about 2 hours 10 minutes to fully charge a Galaxy Note 9 battery. So keep that in mind. Bigger battery, you'll get better battery life, and we should, regardless, even with that, because of the Snapdragon 845 or the Exynos 9810 and the 4,000 milliamp battery, but also it's going to take a little bit longer to fast charge that device just because physically the battery is bigger. So keep that again in mind. Thanks for watching, guys. How is everyone doing? Let's get into the news. The first story of the day is I did a video on the Galaxy S9, S9 Plus about your lock screen and how you can use a video on your lock screen. And all you do is go into your gallery, choose a video, and it does like a video of whatever you want. You just choose a video. It's really easy. I have a video on it. Again, I'll link it down below. It looks like that wasn't available to users on Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, or the Note 8, and it looks like that now is available. So if you have that phone, one of those phones, the Note 8, S8, or S8 Plus, go into that, follow my video down below, the instructions on how to do it, and see if you're able to do it, because if you do, it's actually one of my favorite little tricks on the Galaxy phones is to set a video as your lock screen background wallpaper. It's amazing. It's actually really fun, and I can use any video that's in your gallery. And the last story of the day is about the Galaxy Note 9. Now, the Galaxy Note 9 should be out August 9th, or at least it'll be launched and officially unveiled that day by Samsung, and then you're probably going to see the release date about 2 weeks after that. And the phone's looking pretty decent overall. You're looking at a Snapdragon 845 or Exynos 9810, 6 or 8 gigabytes of RAM, anywhere between 64 and 512 gigabytes of storage, running Android 8.1, stereo speakers. There's all kinds of nice things that are coming out for this phone. One of the interesting things about this phone is possibly, and hopefully this actually comes true, is the actual S Pen getting some updates, not just software feature updates, but also some actual new inputted hardware in here. And the latest thing to come out today, at least out of the rumor mill, is Bluetooth being built into this phone. And we've kind of been suspecting that, and what some of the rumors have said is Bluetooth would be built into it. Well, we kind of weren't sure what the Bluetooth would do, and it looks like the button on there would actually control setting timers on the phone, and also controlling music so that you can play, I guess you can play, pause, increase the volume. I don't know exactly what you'd be able to do with that music control, but ultimately it would control music and really anything else in terms of Bluetooth functionality, what a Bluetooth controller would be able to do. Some other interesting things that could possibly happen with this is maybe you can use it as a game controller. You can press that button and shoot the gun or the rocket, or maybe there's accelerometers in there, so it allows you to use it as a remote, like a gaming steering wheel when you're playing a racing game. That stuff would be very exciting and I think helpful in terms of what you could do with this for Bluetooth controllers. We'll have to wait and see what ultimately it allows you to do besides maybe just controlling music and setting timers. I really hope it does more than that, because ultimately if you have your phone nearby, I can't see that being a huge help for you to get things done with your phone, because you have to have the S Pen out at one point, and then also you'd have to press the button, and you're always going to have your phone near you, especially with the S Pen, because why wouldn't you? The S Pen's for the screen, and it's kind of weird. We'll see what they end up doing with it and how it becomes so functional that you really need it near you at all times. You don't need your phone near you, so we'll have to wait and see. Thanks for watching, guys. My question of the day is what you guys think they'll end up doing in terms of controlling things with that Bluetooth controller built into the S Pen. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you down the road. Peace!